Hello, welcome back. This is season 2 of the LivNow podcast. I'm your host, Nate Kingsley, and I'm very excited to be coming back at you with what I think is a pretty awesome season of guests and conversations. And I got some of your feedback from season 1. I didn't listen to it in this episode. Somebody told me that I should stop drinking my water because it makes like a weird noise. So you are going to hear that. I think that I purposefully made it even loud. No, I'm kidding. I just completely forgot about that. Some of the episodes I did not forget, so you're not going to hear that annoying noise in the back. But you can deal, at least for today. But anyway, my guest that I have on today was actually the first guest on season 1, Justin Miner, who, if you didn't listen to that episode, is the owner and founder and head coach of Gain Strength and Conditioning in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. He is a super cool guy, super nice, very knowledgeable. And what we talked about in the first episode, he is actually an ultramarathon runner. So we talked about how he got into that because he was a collegiate athlete as a hockey player, and making that transition into now an endurance athlete is pretty dramatic. So we talked about that. In this episode, we actually talk about the details of how you get there and what you do to get there. And I'm actually making the transition into becoming an endurance athlete as well. So we talk about my experience while I'm actually going through it, and his experience having gone through it around 2 years ago, and where we're both at in our training, in our mindset, and everything else that kind of goes with it. So I hope that you enjoy this conversation between me and Justin Miner.
Like dumbbell powerlifting, renegade row, dumbbell front squat.
That's good. I did renegade rows the other day. They felt nice. I did them on like a reel. It was probably like a foot box. Because I don't like to do them from the floor. I can't my shoulder is just too far forward all the time.
They're too hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I have to use 25 pounds to make them look good. And I was like, this is useless. So I did it from the foot box, and they felt like awesome. Nice. And I've been doing like the hollow holds with my one leg up, like in a stride thing that Nick showed me. Those are great. Those are freaking tough. I've been breaking them up because Nick gave them to me for like 5 breaths each side, or like 15 seconds rather. And I've just been doing like 2 breaths, 2 breaths, 2 breaths, 2 breaths, because it's too difficult.
Yeah.
I'm freaking like shaking like a fish.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of hollow stuff, and I've noticed a big difference in being able to just get tight, just feel stronger.
Yeah. No, because I've been sort of lacking with that too. I noticed it big time on my squat, my bilateral squats, because on my single leg squats, it's like super easy to get tight because it's just, you have some sort of weird implement in your hand, like a kettlebell or whatever. But on a bilateral squat, I was like, I think I'm just relying on extension.
Yep.
So, but then after doing the hollow holds, I would do them before and like in between sets, and my squat felt like a ton better. And I can get way deeper without any like tightness in my TFL.
It made me realize too that I became so aware of if I was extending at all, like that I was like sometimes like in a little bit of flexion, like trying not to extend
while running or while doing
just
stuff
all the time, mostly like lifting, like squatting when I was like getting too tight almost, right? Like, don't arch my back, and then now I'm just like, find that hollow spot, and then go, and then handstands got way better too.
Yeah, your handstands are looking nice.
They're
looking
nice.
Real good. Your feet are like actually together.
Yeah.
I saw that on your story and I was just like, oh shit. Yeah. My talent has plummeted. So it was decent. I don't know if you saw it over the summer, but I like did it a couple times in the gym and I held it for like at least 30 seconds.
Nice.
Maybe twice, which was like unheard of for me. And then I tried to do it the other day and I might have fell in like 3 seconds.
That you have to do them every day.
Yeah. I like that breakdown. Did I ever show you what my buddy Brad? Because the same kid who's doing the running thing, he also had like this like primal movement like workout that he did for 8 weeks or something. And it was a little kind of out there with some of the shit. It was crazy difficult. But they did this one thing where it was almost, do you know that position where it's like that yoga position where you can like get into a handstand from it?
Correct.
You like elbow, yeah. So you essentially do that, and you like do the first part of getting into a handstand, but you never extend your legs. And you just like keep repeatedly doing that and getting like comfortable, almost having that like point where it's like, oh, I could just extend my legs and be in a handstand, but then fall back down. And doing that, it was like I did sets of 10 in whatever the workout was, and that made my handstand like unbelievably good.
Nice.
But it makes sense because it's always that initial part. If you can like get into a good position off the bat, then it's like you're gonna have it for at least whatever period of time.
The thing that also made it click for me was the gymnastics coach said, just like when you squat, you want to be on like the ball of your foot or like the middle of your foot. It's like find that on your hands. So it's like, on your knuckles basically. Because like, I was thinking like all my weight was in the heel of my palm.
Yeah,
and so like
I think that's where mine is.
Figuring
too.
out how to shift it forward to put it on the ball of your hand, game changer.
Gotcha, that makes a lot of sense.
Like, and it just, because it's basically you have to lean into that spot that feels like it's too far.
That makes sense. Well, because you're always gonna like fall like towards your toes, which would be falling towards your like the heel of your hand.
Yeah.
I guess where do you put your head? Do you go through and like look
No,
the other way?
your eyes are looking between your hands.
Okay, because I've heard people say both. I always look in between.
I think initially you have to, and I think when you're really, really good at them, you can be in a super straight line. But I think, and like stacked like that, but like right now she's telling us to look between our hands.
Gotcha.
And that was something that I wasn't doing before either. That made a big difference. Because I was trying to keep I was like, I should be like a top of the bench
really?
press. Yeah, I was trying to be like this. Not like that.
That's a bold move. I always just thought it's like, oh, if I'm going to like fall or like I needed to get the visual feedback from my hands.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I got to move that way or whatever. But, okay, let's actually talk about running now.
All right.
So what are you doing? When did you like start honing it in?
So basically over like February, I kind of said like, all right, I should kind of start taking training seriously now. And
well, because you took a bunch of time off. Because in like December, November.
I didn't run at all in November, and I ran a couple times in December.
Gotcha.
And then in one of the times I ran in December, I found out how fun it is to run on snow. And so I started running maybe once a week in January. And then February, I was kind of like, all right, I need to start, because I lifted heavy too, November, December. Like stuff I haven't, like resting 3 minutes, like really trying to push some weight around. Because I lost 20 pounds last year. And I put it all back on, which is good. So I'm up to 195 right now.
Oh, nice.
Really?
You don't look it.
I haven't weighed myself in a couple weeks now, but a couple weeks ago I was 195, which felt really good. I have a good before and after picture to show from December till.
I think you showed it to me.
Yeah.
You're still like a lean. If you are 195, which I don't, I bet you're more like around 190 now, probably. Where like your running volume's gone way up. But it was a lean 195.
Yeah. So I think whatever I did, put a little bit more weight on. I did it whilst keeping my leanness, so that was good. And started doing a little bit more kind of aerobic stuff, a lot of airdyne, like just to build that stuff back up, like 60-60s on the airdyne, 500-meter repeats on the rower,
all the fun stuff
to kind of get my aerobic engine going again. And then that was all feeling good, and it got really warm, so I started, and all the snow was gone, so I started running at Stratton Park again. And that's basically when I was like, all right, this race is 10 weeks out. And then the other one's maybe 15 weeks out.
Now it's 12.
Okay, so yeah, so when it was 15 weeks out, I was like, all right, time to like really get dialed in and start taking my training seriously. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm running 4 to 5 days a week, which is more volume than I've done before, but my body's handling it well. And lifting 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm feeling really good. Nothing's getting sore. Like all of the stuff from the spring of last year when I was ramping up for like the first time, like the sore calves, the sore bottoms of my feet, all that stuff does not exist now, which is great.
And what do you attribute that to?
Just more time training.
Gotcha.
Just building up a tolerance to it. And I'm surprised at how much of my like endurance has stuck over the winter. So like right now, like yesterday I ran 9 miles, week before I ran 10 miles. And I didn't think I like had that in me yet. Like I figured that would still be like a month off. So it's cool to see that like a lot of my fitness has stuck around.
Yeah. Well, you see, running. Endurance stuff is the last thing to go.
Yeah.
In terms of, I don't know if you remember that like chart that you probably saw in school.
Yep.
But it takes like whatever it is. It's like 30 to 45 days to start seeing like negative capillary effect.
Mm-hmm.
From, and yeah, I mean, when you're doing freaking 50Ks, you know, you got a lot more capillaries going on, moving around blood.
Yeah. I think if anything, it's good that I took that kind of time off too, and just gave my body a break and focused on building my strength up again. Because now, as I'm like not lifting heavy as much, I'm like, that's okay because in the fall I'm gonna lift heavy again.
Yeah.
And so I'm like thinking about this in a very long-term cycle, which is difficult to do, right? Because you always think about like, well, I'm doing this program this month, or this program next month, or this for 12 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I kind of am starting to formulate what a year looks like around running, which is kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
And seeing how it builds up year after year, right? Not just over these 12 weeks.
Yeah.
But the spring of this year opposed to the spring of last year opposed to the spring of the year before when I did like the very first race ever. And so now it's like, all right, third year into this, I'm just starting to figure it out.
Gotcha. What have you figured out? What's the long-term plan looking like right now?
The long-term plan is to...
Well, say your short-term plan first, because I know what it is, but...
Okay, so the short-term plan is I'm going to do 3 big like goal races this summer. In May, I'm going to do a 50K at Mount Agamenicus. In June, I guess if I say it now, it's out there. I'm going to potentially do a 50-miler.
I'm posting this next week. So today is the 11th of March. So in 1 week, it's going to become official. So you actually have to do 50 miles.
Yeah,
do it. Yo, you're fucking making me do a 50K. Okay. Do 50 miles.
So I'm going to do a 50-miler in June, and then I'll do another 50K in August. So those are kind of the 3 big goal races. And so right now we're 10 weeks out of the 50K, right?
No, we're 12.
Your 50K?
So you're probably
9 weeks then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 9 weeks out of that. So I'm basically trying to just ramp up for that, and I want to be able to run that 50K pretty hard. And at first, when I started my training, I was like, it's like a pretty low key one. So it's like it's a loop, so you can kind of like I could do like 25 or 27 miles pretty easily.
I remember you telling me this. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, no pressure race. I'll see where I'm at.
For the American folks, a 50K is like 31 point
something. It's like 31 miles.
Gotcha. Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, definitely run that one and get to a point where I can run it hard, because I decided to do that after I realized my fitness level was higher than I thought it was. So I'm like, oh, I can get ready for that 50K in the time that it's allotted.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm like, all right, if I can get ready for that 50K quick enough,
might as well send it.
I might as well send it and try the 50-miler, which is the race that you're going to run a 50K at.
Yeah, which is now also official. Because I was still debating, even after I said it after... oh my goodness, I should remember her name. The Run Fit doc like commented on that post.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, what are you training for? Because it's like clearly don't look like a runner at all. So I'm like going through this weird like metamorphosis. And I'm like, oh, a 50K? To which she was probably like, why in the hell are you going to do a 50K? But yeah, no, I've officially decided that's going to happen. And I'm registering for it either tonight or tomorrow.
Alright. So
and buying the shoes.
So that means that I should register for it.
Yes. No, I thought that you did. I thought I saw you, or was that for the one in May?
That was for the one in May.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you should register. My feet on the 50 mile.
No, fucking do it, dude.
I know, no, I will.
Because I walked in and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking like 15 miles, like something a little bit above a half marathon. Because everyone's like, big first race is a half marathon. I was like, fuck that. Yeah. Like, I want to do extra long, and I want to do it up a hill. And you're like, oh, okay, sounds like a good plan. How about a 50K? That's also, what is it, like 5,400 feet?
Yeah, something around there. 45, 54.
Yeah, that's like the definition of sending it in 15 weeks. Yeah. So if I can do that, you can do the 50 miles.
It's very technical, too.
Yeah, sick. Okay.
But, well, the reason I suggested that to you is because that's exactly how I felt last year, right? I was like, all right, half marathon, cool, but I want to do something on the trail. And it's like, well, 15 miles isn't that much further than a half marathon. So then you're just like, oh,
well, that's what I was thinking. And the race that I found would have been perfect if it was in like June or July.
Yes.
Because I came to you and I was like, it was like 18.6 in September. And you're like, that's dumb.
Might
like,
as well
that's so far away. Yeah.
Might as well just throw another half marathon and do it 10 weeks sooner. But the real goal of this is to, one, I think I'm speaking for myself and for you, is not only be able to run the distance, but be able to do it and stay healthy throughout the whole time. And continue to work or continue to go to school while doing all of this training. And so the end game of it for me is, one, yes, it's challenging and it's fun and it's an experiment, but then I can kind of trickle down out of it like, okay, well, how can I help my client that does want to run a half marathon? What can I distill out of my extreme training, right? I like kind of finding these extreme things and pushing it a little bit because it's a good challenge for me and it gives me something to focus on and get better at and do. But then I can learn things along the way and be like, oh, well, you can do this for your marathon, you could do this for your half marathon, or even, hey, you want to run your first 5K ever? Well, here you go. Here are the kind of important things that you need to know about running, because I'm going to learn a lot about running by running for 50 miles or for 50K.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my real goal with all of this stuff, is to not only use it as a challenge for myself, but figure out how to help more people kind of do some of this stuff that are coming to the gym.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm doing it for a very similar reason. Because, a year ago, or 2 years ago, like, I was deadlifting 600 pounds. And then it's like I kind of slowly made a change. And I was still deadlifting, like powerlifting, essentially, up until last winter. So now it's like I'm changing completely.
Yeah.
Going to now like an ultra marathon. Essentially,
it's a totally new realm for you, and that's exactly how it was for me, because I have a kind of similar background, right? Like, lift heavy things, rest a lot, never ever go for a run. If I'm gonna do cardio, maybe I'll push the prowler around a little bit, and that was my 3 sets of a down and back on a sled was like the most conditioning I did for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. So it was just this kind of extreme, like, doing an ultra is just kind of about, all right, well, let me take this as far as I can go.
Yeah.
And figure out how to do it without destroying myself.
But it proves to people around us, because, you now and me in the future you're coaching people who are of all ages, but just have some sort of mental image of what an ultra athlete looks like and what, like, a human can do. And you're like, yo, I've deadlifted over 500 pounds and I've run over 50 miles and I've done it all while being healthy.
Exactly.
So you can do it too.
Yep.
And it, like, obviously to a way lesser extent, like what you said, to like a 5K or whatever, especially if they're 50 plus years old. But it's just like the extremes are possible for anyone, at least to some extent. You're not going to be half Thor, but you're probably also not going to be, well, maybe you could be Cam Hanes. That could happen. Especially if you start picking up a bow.
Well, I'm dragging my feet on picking up a bow because I've got enough things to think about yet. But
true. But regardless, like, it's just, they're plausible.
Yeah.
Which means that if you can do them, you learn a lot about how to do them, and you can slowly guide the people, which you definitely have. Everyone has for sure drank the Kool-Aid, and you have for sure just, like, mind controlled them into being like, no, we're going to do this crazy stuff and it's good for you. Because it is, but it's hard to get people to buy into that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I think the people I gain know that, hey, I'm not going to try and make you run an ultra marathon, but hopefully I can make you realize that doing a 5K is not the worst thing.
Why don't we go run a 5K at Red Hook and you get a beer after?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I like the mentality of it, and I have a very similar one. Because I like to do just, like, crazy shit that a lot of other people don't.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has their crazy shit, but it's just, I don't know. I like to go to the extreme.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Which and before you talk about your long-term goals, my long-term goal, at least for a year, this is the longest training cycle I'm doing. So I'm giving the next 12 weeks or whatever to you. And then after that, I promised my buddies that I would do a powerlifting competition.
Yes.
So,
I love that.
So I'm going to do, I think we're going to try to do it. We haven't really talked about it much, but I know that there's one in New Hampshire in November, or in Maine rather, and then there's one in Massachusetts in like December. So I'm going to run a 50K and try to deadlift. I don't know if I could get 6, but
You
I want
can
to
get 5 though.
Yeah.
You could probably pull 5 now.
I could pull 5 like in my sleep.
Okay, so you got to figure out something then.
Maybe not now, actually. I don't know. I haven't deadlifted in forever. But
that's
in a year,
awesome.
get a 50K
That's
and lift, like, I'm gunning for, like, 550.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's going to be savage. Like, it's going to be crazy, though, because I'm going to, after June, I'll probably take, like, 10 days to 2 weeks off of, like, doing really, like, any regimented anything. And then it's like, I'm going to go full powerlifting mode. Work in a little bit of running, but, like, nothing crazy, just for, like, recovery shit. We'll see how it goes.
You know what the only thing that might get in your way is? In June, when you think you're going to run less, you're going to be addicted to running and want to run for fun.
True.
Because
But-
I said the same thing last year. I was like, after that 50K, I'm done.
Well, I'm not
But
done.
then I was like more inspired to even run afterwards. I started running even more because
Yeah.
it was like, oh yeah.
I'm not done. Don't think that I'm done. Like,
No,
I think
I
I'm going to do this for the long haul because I like this the most. Like, I loved powerlifting, but it's like, I like the way that this makes me feel way better. But it's
Totally
like,
different.
yeah, but running for fun I can do because I now have the ability to go run 31 miles. So if I'm like, hey, today it's like a recovery day. If I want to go run 6 miles, like, that'll be, I mean, it's still something, but it's nothing like huge.
Yeah. And so for me, my long-term goals is, well, maybe I want to hop in on that powerlifting. Maybe
You for
something
sure
fun.
fucking should. Yes. I'll program for you. That will be
Okay.
reciprocal.
I would definitely be into that. So for me, it's run the 50K, run the 50 miler, and the real end goal of this, and the real end goal of running, I think, for me, is to be able to spend more time outside in the woods, just alone, like doing my own thing. And so, I like running in the mountains a lot, and so after that, and in training for that 50 miler, I want to use that ability, that fitness to run in the mountains a ton, as much as I possibly can, which I did last summer after the 50K.
Yeah, you were up there a lot. I mean, you must have made it up there at least 10 times.
Oh, way more than that. I went up every single weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Clementine and I did, my dog Clementine runs with me, and we did 12 out of the 48 peaks. So I'm going to try to cross off a lot of those too.
Yeah.
At least another 12. But I think I could do significantly more.
Invite me for a few. I'll go do a
Well,
couple
so
of those
if
with
you're
you.
able to run a 50K, you can run the Penny Loop with me, which is a 31-mile loop over Franconia Notch, or not Franconia Notch, but the Franconia Range, like Lafayette, Liberty, Lincoln,
Yep.
Galehead, all of those. So you run up and over all of those, back down, and then you go over all of the bonds. West Bond, Bond, Cliff.
Is this the thing that you were talking about last summer
Yeah.
and trying to convince Alex to do
Yeah.
with little to no training?
Yeah, that would have been a bad idea. It would have been a bad idea if I tried it last summer. I mean, I did that out and back on the Bonds, which was the 24-mile run I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
So I did half of it. But so I'm going to do that whole thing this summer for sure. And then I'll do probably a presidential traverse for sure too.
Gotcha. And how many peaks are included with both of those?
Pemi Loop is like 8 or 9. And then a presidential traverse is also 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Because I've already done Jackson. So it's Madison, Adams, Jefferson, Washington, Monroe, Eisenhower, Pierce, and then Jackson as well. If you want, like, I think people do either way.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of a big goal too. And then I'll have that race in the mountains as well in August.
In August. Okay, gotcha. But in terms of long term, like you just want to go out and be in the woods by yourself?
Yeah, I want to be able to.
What does that mean? You're gonna like just go freaking make a yurt or something?
No. I think it's just like, for me, working out was always in the gym, and now that I can do it outside of the gym and use my fitness to like cover ground and go into these cool remote places, I just love that. And so the races are more of a way to, like, I think the race is important to dial it in and to push your limits a little bit. But what I'm really interested in is being able to go out and have fun and do stuff and use it.
Sounds a whole lot like Cam Haynes. He runs just to hunt.
Yeah. That's good. I'm also.
What do you want to do? What do you find so like?
I like being in the mountains.
Because you can do that now, so that's not like a long-term goal. Because I mean, your goal has been achieved. I mean, you did it last summer.
Yeah, but I can get better at it.
True. But are you looking to do like overnights and all that type of stuff, or?
Some, but I mean, I like being able to get up there and just be outside and.
It is nice.
In the mountains, it's peaceful. I get to do it with the dog. So I just have fun doing that. It lets me think, clear my head. I just like being out there, and I think one of the reasons I got into running was I wanted that, right? Almost as like this kind of like meditative practice of just this is what you're doing right now for 7 hours. And I just like it. And it gets me into all of these cool places that I probably wouldn't go to otherwise.
Definitely not.
Right, because I always wanted to get into hiking. I was like, I want to go into the mountains and spend more time up there. And I'm like, but hiking just sounds so boring. Like, you're just moving kind of slow. And so then when I was like, I can take my trail running up there. But you gotta be in really good shape to do it.
Yep.
Right? Like,
yeah.
It's insanely technical. It's crazy amounts of climbing. And so then to be able to I'm gonna do that really, really fast is just thrilling.
Yeah. I remember when I did, because I only made it up there twice, but the Piper Hill was definitely the worst, or the Piper Trail.
Chicora,
to get to Chicora. And I just like way overestimated my abilities.
That's an 8-mile trip. So you've done 8 miles before.
Well, it turned out to be like 10.
Oh, nice.
I was not running for all of it. I ascended. I like ran into people on the way up, and they're like, "Oh, like how long have you been hiking for?" I was like, like an hour and a half," and I was already like 4 miles or something in, and like 3,000. No, probably 2,000 because I think it was like 3,300 feet elevation total, and they're like, "What?" Like, yo, this is our 3rd day. And I was like, okay. So yeah, you're right. You just do it really fast, but it sucked. Coming down was the bad part. Going up was fine because I was like in good enough shape to like be motivated, get up there. But then coming down, I think descending is more technical because you're going way faster, and it's just
you have to be able to absorb a lot of force.
Yeah. And especially when you're going up a mountain, it's already when you've come up the mountain.
Yeah.
So now you're coming back down, so you're tired and you're fatigued. And that's where I kind of screwed up. And it took me a while. I mean, I went 10 miles, and I did it in like a reasonable amount of time, at least the first like 8.5, because then the last 1.5 miles was trying to find Kate and her dad who were picking me up. But no, it was really, really really hard. And that was only 10 miles.
Yeah. So, like, I want to be able to go up there and do 20-mile days, 25-mile days, 30-mile days.
Well, what were you doing last summer? Like 15?
A lot of 20s. Like, I did maybe a lot of 15-mile days and a handful of 20 to 25-mile days.
Gotcha.
Like, the longer, like, I did the Bonds. So, out and back to Bondcliff, Bond, West Bond. It was like 22 or 24 miles. And then I did the Carter and Wildcat ranges. That was like an 8-peak day. And that was a 20-mile day, I think.
That's a nice spot up there. I've gone snowmobiling up there.
Really?
Yeah, around that same area, near like Wildcat Mountain and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's up, if you go like a half hour or something, 40 minutes more north, you're in Berlin.
Yeah.
On that same road. Whatever road that is. I forget what it is.
Well, a lot further up. But
is it more than 40 minutes from Wildcat Mountain?
The Wildcat and the car, like, that's kind of like near Storyland.
It's kind of far away from Storyland. Because Wildcat's like, it's on the other side of Washington, but a little bit longer up the road. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong spot.
You're thinking the wrong spot.
Well, I have gone snowmobiling around there. It's a nice spot. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it is.
So we used to go skiing there all the time, too.
Yeah, so I did. So I started on 16, did Middle Carter, North Carter, Middle Carter, South Carter, Mount Height, Carter Dome, and then you go down, and then back up to, there's 4 Wildcat peaks, and then I went back. And that was 20 days. That was like one of the most like epic ones of the summer.
Yeah, that sounds pretty epic.
That's
a lot.
Yeah, that was a 7-hour day.
Damn. I get why you like that, though. I'm with you. It definitely is meditative. You get outside. I mean, Portsmouth isn't like crazy busy, but there's enough commotion going on. You have a job where you see like 100 people a day, and it's nice to just kind of get away. You're by yourself or with your dog, and just kind of, this is all you're doing, rather than like running a business, coaching people, whatever. It's just, nope, I'm going to be outside.
Be in nature.
Yeah. Running, hiking, seeing cool shit.
Yeah.
I like it. It gets me out of, just breaking it up and going. I'm in Medford or Stoneham when I go running, but it's like, there's trees, you can't hear any cars really, and it's nice. And it's like, you're away from Boston, there's not a lot of people out there, even if they are, they're always super nice, and they have a cute dog that you can come up and pet. But it gets you out of it, it breaks up the day, and it's just like, I love people. People do incredible shit. I don't want to be around people all the time.
Yeah. Same.
So I'm with you. But in terms of very long term, what are you thinking for like 3 years down the road? What do you see yourself doing?
I don't know if I see myself still running ultramarathons. I think in terms of that, I'm very, very intrigued by a 100-mile race. I don't think I'm there yet, for sure. Right. So maybe next year we're doing something really long. But at the real end of the day, I've learned that doing some aerobic training, running, working on my skill as a runner has made me feel a lot better and made my training much more enjoyable. Like, as opposed to just lifting heavy things. So long term for me is, all right, what can I keep doing out of this that makes me feel better? Like, because that's, I think at the end of the day, that's what I want the training to do is, I want to feel good, I want to be healthy, I want to be able to do anything. And so while I don't always need to stay in like 50-mile ultramarathon shape, I think I'll always keep some running in there. 1, 2, 3 times a week, I don't know. But it's definitely changed how much heavy stuff I lift and making me reconsider that a lot. Just because it beats me up so much now. It's so, I think we've talked before on here, but it's too expensive now.
It is.
Like,
it's very expensive.
I can go for a 1 RM snatch or a 3 rep max front squat, but I'm going to pay for it, and it's not worth it sometimes. Most of the time it's not worth it because I don't get to do something every day, which is what I like doing.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, it's not worth it because of what you're doing now. Yeah. And what you like to do.
But even all the time, like I like training every day. I'm training most days of the week, and that means toning it back a lot of the time, like taming my ego, like that's what I'll say to Alex sometimes. Like, I won the battle with my ego today because I wanted to do another heavy set of 5 there, but I know that I shouldn't. But I have absolutely nothing to prove. So if I don't do that extra set, it's like I won the battle with my ego.
Yeah, that's a tough battle to do because you always...
It's crazy hard. And I did it to you the other day on Wednesday when you're like, come on, man, lift with me. And I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling that good. And I was like normally, like, right, you would give me a hard time and be like, yeah, let's go. And I think that's good to do too. But like right then and there, I was like, you know what, my body's just not really ready for it right now. So I dragged the sled instead. I felt great. And I had a really good workout Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday because I took Wednesday off.
Yeah.
If I had trained on Wednesday, I would not have done anything Thursday or Friday.
Especially going heavy overhead.
Especially going heavy overhead.
Yeah. No, it's hard to do though, for sure. I've definitely gotten a lot better at it. So I would always just like, especially when you train in gyms where there's just a lot of people and they're all doing their own thing or whatever, and you get in there and you're like, oh, I shouldn't really go that heavy. And it's like you always have in the back of your mind, you're like, no, I gotta go heavy. And it's like, look like you're lifting more weight or whatever. And it's tough to, because when I was doing the overhead stuff, I was doing like higher rep things or higher volume, but with short rests. I would only take 5 breaths in between each set. So I only had 95 pounds on there. So you just have like little 25s each side, do an overhead press for 3 reps. And it's like, that's no weight at all. But it's like you have to just get over yourself and do it. And you don't have to be lifting heavy shit all the time. It's like you're training for something. These people are just in here to do it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Totally. Yeah. I have that battle just all the time. It's like, all right, well, how much of this do I really need to be doing?
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I've mostly gotten over it, but I definitely still have it sometimes. Where I'm just like, but like what you said, it's good on occasion. Well, just being those days where you're like, like my body's telling me no, but there's some days where you're just like, no body, like we're doing this today, regardless of what you say.
And that's super important to do too.
Yeah.
I think you have to have both ends of that. Suck it up and do it, or also, this is a bad idea to do it. And the real goal of all of this, and what I've been working on for a few years now, is trying to, I don't want to say, I'm hesitant to say intuitive training because I still have a plan, but I try to be very in tune with how I'm feeling and what I should do that day. Like if there's a heavy day planned and I'm not fired up for it, I'm probably not going to do it. Or if I'm supposed to do a shorter run, but it's beautiful out and I feel great, or I'm supposed to lift on, like, it's a 70-degree day out on Wednesday and I'm not supposed to run, like, go for a run.
Yeah.
And so, winning those battles, both suck it up and do it and no back off, has really kind of tuned me into my body and how I'm feeling.
Yeah, which is good. And luckily, the program that you're on and that I've now been on for 3 weeks is fluid enough where it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
And I've done that. There was one of the days I was supposed to do my lower body, the single leg, I think. No, it was the Zercher squat. And I was like, I can't do this today. Because I knew that I had to go heavy because it was the second week. And I was like, I have to beat 275 for 2. And I was like, I can't do that today. Mm-hmm. So I waited a day. Next day, I felt 10 times better, and I hit it easy.
Yeah, and that's that's something that you have to earn the right to be able to do too by being very rigid and on programs for a really long time. And then like you and I have been lifting for a long time, and so I think we've gotten to that point where it's like, okay, it's okay if I don't deload every 4th week, and it's okay if I break some of these rules that I've always followed because I've followed the rules for so long, and that's kind of what allows you to be a little bit more intuitive with it.
Yeah, I like this method a lot more, but I also like there's some days where it's just like today, like I could have stopped easily. You're like, hey, let's keep going, and I was like, I really don't want to, but yeah, let me just double what I just did.
Yeah.
Because it's just, whatever, just push through it. Like, granted my calves or whatever weren't feeling good, but just go out and go do it. But then other days, it's definitely reel it back. No, whatever. Also, freshman year of college is what taught me that it's like, if you can just put your head down and just do whatever, it's like results will come. But I like this way more. Just like, no, you don't have to max out on deadlift today.
Yeah.
Because that was brutal all the time. Which
Well,
is
yeah,
what we're going to do after we...
Yeah, I would definitely be... So when is that powerlifting meet? November?
I got to look into it. I only know like vague dates. You got to do it. You've never done one. You have to
I
do
haven't.
it.
I would actually think that would be a good challenge. I
Yeah.
like the idea of doing an ultra marathon, a powerlifting competition within months of each other.
Yeah. No, it's going to be awesome. Only thing that's going to suck, my bench is going to take a huge hit. Which is a bummer because my bench was huge when I stopped.
I don't even know how to bench anymore.
Yeah. You know how I could get you there. I'll take you to the promised land.
Here, my bench pressing program for the last 4 years has been this. If anybody has 225 on the bar at any point I gain, I maybe try it once. That's about it.
Well, can you still hit that? 225 ain't bad.
I can hit that.
There's a lot of folks who
Well,
can't
that's
hit
how I know that I
225.
don't need a bench. If I can hit it, I'm like, all right, I'm fine.
Yeah, but have you ever hit 315 before?
No, not even close. 270 all-time best, and that was
270 all-time best?
that
How
was
much
in-
did you weigh?
probably 200.
Oh, okay. I don't have much room to talk.
I was probably in like
I was strong as fuck when I was like
2011.
weighing 250.
we were talking about that today, Alex and I.
What?
We're talking about being barefoot in the gym, and there's a great picture of you coaching Judy trap bar deadlifting, but you're barefoot. So it's like it's like a hard thing to use for like Instagram ad or something, you know, because you're barefoot, but it's a great picture, and you look beefy in it. Like,
Really?
Yeah, you're filling out that XL guarantee.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like borderline double XL.
Oh, I was double XL for a while.
That explains it. Then.
I was thick. When I had to start cutting for that powerlifting meet, the last powerlifting meet that I did, which was in 2016. Yeah, 2016.
It was the summer
April.
that you were entering a game.
I weighed, before I started cutting, because I weighed 254 point whatever. I started cutting like a month out. I got to like 243 in 10 days out. And then I water loaded and was 219.6. No, it was nuts. But you get really strong when you're really heavy. I'm not gonna do that this time though. I'm hopefully gonna get sub 210 for this race because I think like I just have to.
What do you weigh
lose
right
weight.
now?
I'm like pushing 230.
You'll lose.
I'm not little. Like I'm.
No, you'll lose 15.
But it's not good weight, so it should like just kind of fall off in 12 weeks.
You'll lose 10 or 15 pounds.
Yeah, and my diet's cleaned up as of yesterday.
Yes. So it's not clean.
No, it's cleaned up as of yesterday. Today's been a great day so far.
So 1 good day of eating. Diet's clean now.
No, but I keep it with it. Kate and I straight up, we ate everything bad that was in our house. It's all completely gone. There's no temptation for me. I just got, because I heard it on Rogan's podcast. This is, shout out, this isn't an advertisement at all. Butcher Box.
Nice.
Because they have grass-fed everything. And god damn it, that was the best damn ribeye I've ever had in my life. Clementine's pissed she didn't have a bite. It was really, really good. So I got about 13 pounds of grass-fed and free-range meat.
Nice.
So I'm like, I'm ready. I'm dialed in. I got rid of all the potatoes because you told me I can't eat those. I actually made, this will be good. Because we can talk about the nutritional aspect too. See, because you like to go the high-fat route,
yeah.
Which I completely agree with. Because carbs are pro-inflammatory anyway. And granted, fat can be too if you're just taking in like a shitload of omega-6. But yesterday I made my like little fat bomb things. So I got cashews, almonds, peanuts, and peanut butter, and a little bit of almond butter, some cacao powder. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Okay, why is it pronounced like that?
There's cacao and cocoa. And it's just, so it's just the A and the O are switched on the end. And it has something, I have no fucking clue. But it's something to do with the way that they're processed.
Okay.
That's all I
That
can
cleared
tell
it
you.
up very little. Well, I got cacao. I got unsweetened, which are in
Would you like
unsweetened
to
coconut
try
flakes.
one of my fat balls live right now?
Yeah, go snag one. So mine include unsweetened coconut flakes. I got hemp seeds. So I put like 2 or 3 tablespoons of that in there, which were absolutely delicious. Let's check out this. Oh shit, that's real good. That's really good. Yeah. Is this the one with the crushed up like cashew on the outside?
Yeah, so it's coconut oil and almond butter melted together with cacao.
Which we don't know what.
And
the
so you
hell that
just
means.
melt that together, get it cold, morph it into balls, roll it in ground up cashews.
It tastes good.
Right?
Not gonna lie, mine might taste better.
Well,
This is
yours has legumes in it.
Whatever. Who cares? But no, those hemp seeds, those like crazy high in fat, and then a little coconut, mixed all that stuff up. I forgot to buy chia seeds. I was gonna throw chia seeds in there too, but they don't mold. These are like very well molded.
I made these in October, by the way.
Oh, well,
I mean, they're still fine, but
yeah.
the reason I'm still eating out the batch that I made from October because they were really hard to make. Like, not different, like, messy wise. Like, to make them into balls.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're really good and they're great to take on, like, a long run. But,
Those are delicious. I like those.
yeah.
But
So, yeah, I've been doing the high fat thing. I basically started
we were full keto for last year, right?
for last year for the first one, yeah. For the first 50K. So basically in February, as I started ramping up my training, I started basically just cutting any shit out of my diet, like peanut butter cups or Reese's eggs.
Oh yeah, you're a candy guy, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. And so that just kind of made my carb taper off. And as my carbs tapered off, I started increasing my fat a little bit here and there. Eating less, like where maybe I would have an RX bar in the afternoon, I would not have that and have maybe an avocado instead, or extend my fast a lot longer. And so now I'm at like a spot where I'm eating pretty low carb, very low carb.
What's like the grams per day? Or do you know exactly?
I don't know exactly, but it's definitely under 100.
Okay.
And most of them are from vegetables. And then I'll have some, the last couple months I started eating sourdough bread. Which is
Why?
really good. One, for more butter, so I can have more fat, and a vessel for avocados.
Okay.
So buttery toast with avocado.
Why
on it.
sourdough bread?
Because it's fermented. So I heard a lot of people talking about how it doesn't, since it's a fermented bread that has to rise, that they didn't have any like negative gut effects from it. And so I kind of did it at like Hannah's pretty sensitive to gluten. So like at first I was like, I wonder if she'll be able to eat this, because some people that have some like light gluten sensitivity, which I think for sure I do. And I try not to eat gluten, but like if you brought me a cheeseburger here, I'm gonna eat it. So it's just kind of like, and it's very low glycemic index, so it's like something I could have a couple pieces of toast and get 30-40 grams of carbs and not have it spike my blood sugar. So that's kind of why, and I feel really good with it. So I now will have pretty much, besides some vegetables or a salad or something during the day, no carbs all day, and then have a little bit at night, depending on my activity level. Like on the weekend after a long run, I'll probably eat maybe 150.
So you need to take a cheat day.
No, not really. And that's how I know I'm in a good spot with my nutrition, because I don't even want to. Like, I feel so good that I don't want to. I don't want to mess it up.
Gotcha.
That's a good spot to be in.
I've only been in that twice in my life. Usually I'm like, Jesus, is it Saturday night yet? Christ.
Yeah. But I mean, if I do crave anything or want, like, I'll have it. But it'll usually be timed out as like, oh, it's after my really big run. Like, I made a triple breakfast sandwich yesterday. And now, remember that one breakfast sandwich has like 2 eggs on it. So I had like a 6-egg, open face, bacon, 2 avocado. Like, I went for it and ate a lot of food and a lot of carbs. But it was after a long run that I did fasted. So if I do have that stuff, it'll be post-long fast after a long effort.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's what I'm hoping to hit. I'm taking, because you told me that I could take a cheat day once a week, which I was definitely planning on taking every week. But these next 2 weeks, I'm like, I gotta really dial it in. Because if you take it, I always told people that I've helped with their nutrition, it's like, listen, I'm gonna give you a cheat day, but don't take it the first week. Because if you go 2 weeks without cheating, it's like, it's gonna suck for that first 10 days, but on that 11th day, it's like, you're gonna feel real good. And then once you get to cheat day on the 14th or whatever it is, it's like, yeah, you're gonna want it, but you know you're not going to want to mess it up too much, which is what you're talking about right now.
It's exactly how, like, we went out to brunch today, and I was like, stuffed French toast looks really good, but do I want it? No. And I'm really happy that I didn't, because running today after I ate...
You would have felt like shit.
I didn't feel like shit, but I didn't feel as good as I feel fasted.
Gotcha. I'm saying, after that French toast, you would not have felt good.
Oh, no. But I just had, like, Korean eggs Benedict. It was like a little bit of rice and poached eggs and hollandaise sauce.
That sounds pretty
and
good.
Korean barbecue. It was really good. But it was like a little bit higher carb than I would normally eat. Right, so there's my cheat day. I had some rice this morning.
You don't even eat rice?
No.
I can't cut that out. I gotta keep something in there.
Yeah.
Rice is my vessel for vegetables.
Well, then go for it.
Because I put...
Have you been making fried rice, you said? Is that you?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I just bought... I don't know if you've ever had it before. I think I told you this. I got Amish butter.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers know what they're doing. That shit tastes great. And I'll put probably like at least 2 tablespoons of butter into this rice. And then and it's probably half a cup of rice. And then I'll put like half an onion, half a pepper, a bunch of green beans, maybe some peas if I got them, jalapenos, and then whatever meat I'm eating.
Sounds really good.
No, it's delicious. And it's just, if you like, leave it on there for a little bit. I don't know how you like your rice.
A little crispy?
Yeah, just on one side. And it tastes real good. And it's just drenched in butter. It's really high in fat. That's usually my only carbs for the day. Like I said, these past 10 days have been kind of shitty. But yeah, I can't cut rice out. Because I don't have... I can't just sit there and eat vegetables, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, you don't have to do that. But I do that because I know it makes me feel good. Because I've tried everything.
Yeah.
And I know that I feel really good when I eat pretty low carb.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good on low carb too. Yeah. But it's just...
But yeah, you gotta have the...
Alright, so we got briefly interrupted because Clementine ran into the cord. But it's okay because she's too adorable to be mad at. But, so we're going to wrap this up shortly. But we do want to talk about, Justin and I, when we started this, me 3 weeks ago, when I was like, hey, I'm going to do something, I want to do a race. And he convinced me to do this fucking bullshit, which is 50K. But he was talking to me about wanting to start a, Instagram, follow us through our training. We talked about it here, but you can't, that's not the day by day, what we're actually doing. We didn't even break down what we do in a week, which we're not going to get into, so you're going to have to wait till the next one. But just follow us for the next 12 weeks, or by the time that I post this, I guess it will be 11 or 10 weeks of what every day sort of looks like and what our training looks like. Maybe I don't want to be one of those people that takes a picture of the meal, though. I don't think you're not gonna see what the fuck I'm eating. Never mind. Maybe you'll see like what those balls that I make, the little fat balls. So those are pretty. I made here before we get into it. I made and I like listed out how much of everything's actually in it. There's 53 grams of carbs. For I ended up making six and a half size balls. They were probably like an inch in diameter. There was 53 grams of carbs, 58 grams of protein, and 130 grams of fat. Totaling to around like, it was like 1,618 calories or something.
You can do one of those a day.
I'm going to do, well, because I fast all day at school. So I have my MCT oil. Don't ask me how much I put in, just like 10 squirts. My collagen.
10 squirts?
10 like little squirts. I hold it sideways and then it's, no, I'm not like, yeah, all right. I have a half a bottle of MCT oil in my coffee.
I said that's, so I made Taylor bulletproof, or I showed Taylor how to make bulletproof coffee the other day.
Like with butter?
Yeah, with butter and just coconut oil. I don't have any MCT oil right now, so I just use coconut oil. And I take this massive scoop, 3 or 4 tablespoons, and throw it in the blender. And I'm like, if you have not been eating a lot of coconut oil, do not even take nearly as much as I just did. Because it'll get you.
Yeah. No, it gets you going. Yeah. Like, for sure. I love it. But I use MCT stuff, the Annnnnd stuff, because it's just easy. I only put like a little bit in there with the 10 squirts, which to you is a lot. My collagen powder, which I need for my joints. I see a very like big difference when I don't take that. And then I have my fish oil. I just got magnesium supplement too. We'll see how big of a difference that makes, but it's supposed to help. And then a B12. Don't know why I take it. I think it was on sale. But no, I'll have that in the morning. But then I don't eat until night. Usually, I mean, that's how I was doing it up until whatever it was 10 days ago. Yeah. But it kind of sucks. I'd be like wicked hungry, and I notice myself getting irritable at like 6 o'clock because I've been fasting for 22 hours.
Too long.
Yeah, I think like 18 to 20 hours is my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
At like around 20, I'm like, all right, I need some food. So I'm thinking if I can make 6 of those, if I had 2, so just chop that into thirds. I mean, that's a decent amount of calories. We'll just say that's 500. It's a little bit more. It's probably like 530. And that'll just be like a good boost. I could take that at maybe like 16 hours.
Yep.
16 to 18, and then I'll be good until I have my big meal at like 22 to 24 from my last big meal.
Nice.
Yeah. But I just need something. Because it's like when like I have to function cognitively at a high level too.
There's definitely a point when fasting where you get to like, I don't need to eat now, I feel fine. But your energy maybe starts tanking a little bit, or your ability to focus, or you're irritable. And it's like, yeah, probably shouldn't keep pushing it.
Yeah.
But other days you're like, no, I'm not even thinking it. Like, the thought of, I don't even, like, sometimes the fast feels so good, you're like, I don't even want to eat.
Yeah. And that's how I was in November, like with the no bullshit November thing. But, yeah, now it's just like, and all my labs are at night. So I'm like in cadaver lab and I like have to be on because it's only an hour and 20 minutes to learn the material. And it's like I'm starting to get pissed off. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. Like, it can't feel like this. Like, I have to be cognitively there. So I'm like, oh, if I just take these, it'll be enough calories, it'll be enough fat to keep me going. Yeah, it's going to break my fast, but like, who cares?
Could you imagine carrying around a lunchbox with like 5 meals and Tupperwares in it for your 12-hour day at school?
It'd be the worst. I see people. My buddy, Taylor's friend, Taylor, does that. Except he that dude eats healthy.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
It works for some people. For me, it would be way too much organization, and I'd have to plan it out way too far. So for me, it's just like, oh, yeah, I don't have to eat right now.
Yeah,
it's simple.
It's been shown a bunch of times in studies that the 5 to 8 meals a day that the bodybuilders or whatever have been touting as like the healthy way to live is not the healthy way to live. And that fasting is actually a little bit more beneficial. Varying in time differences. Do not fast how I've been fasting, which was upwards of like 20 hours. But like, just hit it with the 12. You could do the 12 and 12. You could do the 16 and 8.
I never tell people to fast.
You've been telling folks to skip breakfast though, haven't? Or a few people.
If people, come to me and say, I hate eating breakfast, what should I eat for breakfast? I'll say, have you ever considered not eating breakfast? And that's, that's me indirectly telling them, yeah, it's okay that you don't eat breakfast. And to extend your fast a little bit because, most people are just, they think they're hungry all the time and they're not.
No.
And, I mean, just look at the obesity, right, come on. So, clearly everybody, meaning people as a whole, are doing something wrong. Because there's a lot of unhealthy people. So, just like the ultramarathoning, I can take the extremeness of fasting and say, okay, well, hey, instead of eating 6 meals a day, you should probably only need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you hate breakfast, don't eat it.
Yeah. Have like a snack or something at like noon.
Yeah. And it's definitely not for everybody. Like, Hannah doesn't do well fasting. She has a small lunch or small breakfast. But even her, she's been tinkering with having a little bit bigger of a breakfast and is now feeling better throughout the day. Again, it's still kind of small. Like, before, maybe she'd have like a banana or a kiwi or RX bar before she trained. Now she's having like 2 eggs after she trained. Like egg muffin style. It's just kind of interesting. Everybody's different. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think you need to eat 6 meals a day. I think it's just too hard.
Yeah. Oh, and especially it would be easier for someone like you to do because you have the fridge at work or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just so unrealistic for me to do at school and like lugging around a lunchbox all day and like having to find a microwave to heat it up if I brought like chicken and rice. It's like, that's just pain in the ass. So if I bring this, just put it in my backpack. It's going to be all gross and stuff because peanut butter is the base, but like who cares? It'll still taste good. And it's like, I'm literally only having it for calories. And to not be like wanting to chop my professor's head off because I'm hungry.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But to reel it back in,
yes.
Follow us on Instagram. You're just at Justin Miner.
Justin_Miner_. MINER.
MINER. And I'm at Nate Kingsley. And we're going to
document our training.
Yes.
We've got to put it out there.
Yeah. We're... Neither of us like Instagram at all or social media
So
in general.
This is another lesson or practice in being uncomfortable, just like running.
Yeah.
Just to put it out there.
Yeah, this is going to be similar to my November thing. I love doing the November thing only because it got me into contact with some people and I had good conversation from them. But I hated doing...
It really kickstarted this off for you.
Yeah, it did. Not that this is like a huge thing, but it gave me the idea, like the push to pursue my idea. But, it was good, and it definitely, like what you did with didn't you do like a 30-day video challenge?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah. It's just, you got to do it. And it'd be cool, like, for other people who are thinking about doing something absolutely insane, like train for a 50K in 15 weeks, or do their first 50-miler. It'd be cool to see. Excellent. So, give us a follow. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you could teach us something that we don't know. For all the running people out there, I always do the like hashtag trail running or whatever, because it will always some people will like it, and then I'll go and like follow them.
Nice.
And like they usually have like good little pointers or whatever, or, like running drills. So yeah, give us a follow. Other than that, Justin, thanks.
Thanks, Dan.
Wait, before we go, please give us a follow on Instagram. I know that I said it on the podcast, but please give myself a follow at Nate Kingsley. Kingsley spelled Kingsley, all lowercase, and to Justin, which is at Justin_Miner_, Miner spelled MINER, also all lowercase. Give us a follow. I think that it would be a cool experience to have, just kind of watch the process that we go through in the next 12 weeks to turn myself into an endurance athlete, which still very much sounds like a joke, but it's true. And for Justin, who's going to be prepping for his first 50-mile race, and he wants to now become more competitive in the sport rather than just do the races to complete them. He wants to actually compete. So, give us a follow. I think that it would be very cool to have all you guys follow us along. Also, please, as always, give me some feedback. I'd love to hear it. I know that I didn't listen about the water thing, but I promise that I am in future episodes, and your feedback is well received. So anyway, until next week.